What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Mikey's Action Figures channel. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 things you should know when becoming an action figure collector. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you can tell, today we're going to be talking about the top 5 things that you should know when becoming an action figure collector. So I'm going to start off with my top 1, and that is going to be to test the waters. Testing! The reason why I say test the waters is because right now that's pretty much you learning about the figures that you're buying, figuring out why you want to buy them, figure out how deep you're going to go into them, and figure out how much you're going to spend on going into them. I like to test the waters on certain lines. I don't like to go and buy like 5 of the line. Like, let's say I'm interested in Mafex, which is an import company that also makes 6-inch figures that's like Marvel Legends but a little bit more expensive. If I'm going to do that, I'm not going to just go buy the Mafex Batman, the Mafex Superman, the Mafex Doctor Strange and all that. I'm probably gonna buy 1 or 2 so I can see how it feels, so I can see if I like it. So that's why I definitely say test the waters, and that's my top 1, and I'm gonna stick with that because I think that's really what you should do when thinking about kind of not only starting a collection but progressing it and going bigger and bigger. Now the second thing that I want to talk about is storage and space and pretty much all that, because it all comes to a certain level. So now you've started your collection, you probably have 5 to 10 figures, you have a couple different lines, you like Star Wars, you like Marvel, let's say you also like Nintendo figures, and so you have your Mario Kart cars from Hot Wheels. For Star Wars you go 3.75 inch, for Marvel you go 6 inch with the Hasbro stuff. And so you have all those figures, and now you gotta think about space. Now you're thinking in space, and storage is not just where you're gonna put the boxes, you know, because that's also another thing to think about as well. But you're thinking about, like, am I gonna display them? Where am I gonna put them? Do I have a desk where I put these? Do I have a shelf where I'm gonna make a nice display? And where am I gonna set up these shelves in my room? So storage doesn't just mean, you know, where you're gonna put it in your garage. So you also got to think about that aspect of it, whether you're gonna be an out of box or in the box collector. A lot of people in the box call them mint on card or mock, and then out of the box we call them loose figures. And so I do out of the box, I do loose. I put them in bins depending on how much I have and how I'm gonna display them. So there's some people that display their figures on their walls hanging in the box. There's some people that display them on shelves posed, moved around, looking like they're in a battle or something like that. You're also thinking about the scale, and that's why I say if you're collecting 3.75 inch Star Wars or 6 inch Marvel Legends, the scale is going to make a big difference and factor on how you're going to store your boxes. Now if you're doing Hot Toys, which is a 1/6 figure, which in my last couple videos you'll see me get those, they're very big. The boxes are huge, the figures are huge, and you really have to think about where you're going to put those. A lot of people use DTOF cases from IKEA. A lot of people use different types of glass cases or Billy bookcase cases and things like that to store their figures. Now you're getting into the money spending, into my third thing, which is going to be finances. Show me the money! And the reason why you gotta think about finances is because you really have to manage your money because of all these factors. We're talking about if you're doing Marvel alone. I'm just gonna go into the 6 inch. Now 6 inch, there's like 5 different versions of Marvel figures you could get. Marvel has Mafex, SH Figure Arts, Revoltech, Marvel Legend, regular Marvel Legends. Now when you're thinking about scale, you're thinking about the 3.75 inch and they're little ones, so it's a little bit more cost efficient because in retail stores the little ones are like 12, 11 bucks. Aftermarket is like $20. With the 6 inch stuff, if you're doing Marvel Legends, it starts off at 20 to 25. The imports start off at like 100 to 120, and the Hot Toys, which is the 1/6 scale, those ones go about 230 to 300 depending on the character. So we're just talking about action figures at this point. You could even go beyond that, and you're talking about your shelves. Now you're talking about a DTOF, I think that's about like 60 to 70 bucks. Got some birds like yelling at me. 60 to 70 dollars. And when you think about that, if you're doing other shelves, some of those range to like $200 to $300, and so that's pretty expensive, and that's not even your toys that you're buying. That's just for you to display your toy. And it also gets expensive based on where you buy them. There's a bunch of different retailers who sell action figures, like Target, sometimes Five Below, Ross, you get lucky there, Walmart and other areas. You got Fred Meyer. Out here in Southern California where I'm at, you got GameStop, but other areas I think they call it Think Geek or something like that, and it just varies based on where you are and where you're buying. At Targets and Walmarts, They pretty much range anywhere between 19 to like 25 bucks. At GameStops, no matter what, they're like doing like $25. So they're always up in price. If you go to your local comic book store, they're doing it at probably like $30, 29 or something like that. So you really have to think about your finances and how much you're spending on these figures, because it can be really expensive and it could really break your pocket. And you really have to set that boundary and really cut yourself off at a certain level where you're like, all right, I have a budget every month, I have a budget every week, I have a budget every year on what I can spend. And the biggest thing I'll point out is financial things is really what's going to hold you back moving forward with collecting. And you know, that's just something to really think about. So getting into the fourth one, I would say it's definitely to socialize, to build a social media presence. I would say definitely make a Facebook account. Join, if you have a Facebook account, join a bunch of Facebook groups. If you have an Instagram or don't have an Instagram, make an Instagram. There's a bunch of different accounts that give you information on new things coming out, information on pre-orders, where to pre-order it, how to know if something's a Walmart exclusive, a Target exclusive, GameStop exclusive, and beyond that. I would say definitely the best profiles to check out would be like Rectangular, Toy Shiz, and a couple others. I can't think of their names right now, but I'll just put them in there so you can see them. I would definitely say to use that social media presence not only to look for action figures, to sell action figures, things like that, but also to make friends and to build your presence in the community with other people. You know, there's a bunch of YouTubers who are on YouTube and Facebook and things like that, and it would definitely be a great way for you to make friends, meet people who are into the same things as you, meet people who kind of give you knowledge and you give them knowledge, and kind of vice versa. It's hard to find. I can't get it at Target, and somebody will say, hey, I found that at Target last week, I'll give it to you for retail. You know, a lot of my friends that are really close friends, that are my best friends, I've actually met through action figure collecting. I think if you're starting out and you want to meet new people who are into the same thing you are, that's the best way. Alright guys, so my fifth and my final thing about becoming an action figure collector is to recycle your collection. It doesn't mean like get rid of your whole collection, purge it. It basically means that if new things come out, for example, you love your Marvel Legends, but you just realize that Mezco has some pretty good Marvel figures too that you really do like. Now the sad thing is when a Mezco comes out, Mezco's like 120 bucks or maybe like in that $100 range, and a Marvel Legends 20. So you bought 5, that's basically like the same price without tax and stuff as a Mezco. So the best way to do that is not just like buy a new figure because it's just there. I would say recycle it. Sell your figures that you just got, make some money, probably try to make a profit, and then use that money to buy a Mezco. You know, for me, best thing I've done is use my old Marvel Legends that I no longer touch, no longer use, and invest it by selling it, making a little bit of money, you know, extra $5, extra 10 bucks, because obviously when you buy it at a certain time it's $20, but then as the years progress and you still have it, you have it in the box or you have it loose, they still kind of go up in value and they can make you enough money. I swear to you, I just sold a couple figures, like 5 to 10 figures, and made about like $200 and something, and because of that I was able to pay and do trades and stuff like that to get the Thanos, to get Hot Toys that I got, because now I'm interested in Hot Toys. And so one of the things I've been doing is utilizing my 6-inch stuff to transition into the Hot Toys. A lot of times it is hard because you're backtracking and you're trying to, you know, when you start a new collection, you're trying to get the old stuff, and the old stuff's a little bit more expensive. So the best thing I think for anybody who is kind of progressing and going through the process of and growing their collection, and you're like, I like Marvel Legends but the Mezcos are dope, and I like the Mezcos but the Mayfex are dope now, and the Mayfex were dope, but man, the Hot Toys are cool, and so now you're making a profit and you're getting something that you actually are interested in now. I definitely recommend you guys recycling your action figures, turning your old action figures into new action figures, and your new action figures into something you love even more. So that's pretty much it for my 5 tips on becoming an action figure collector. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one, you guys. Let's get it.